greetings and salams. I translate verse number 96 of Surah Al-Imran. Indeed, the first house to have been erected for mankind for the purpose of worship is the one in Makkah al-Mukarramah. Most blessed and the guidance of all the worlds. MashaAllah, it's a place towards which everyone in the world will turn for salah. And that is the direction you are facing at this moment. The Holy Kaaba, Baitul Haram. We know that our first parents, Adam and Eve, lived in heaven. Allah made Adam and Eve and caused them to reside in His paradise. For reasons known best to the Creator, He knows everything. They were expelled from the heavens and came down to Mother Earth. This brought them great grief. They repented. And Allah said, "Go to the world, come to God, descend to earth." They were very much immersed in gum and grief. Have you ever seen a person who you have scolded? And that person becomes very sad and becomes contrite and awaits every opportunity to make amends for the error he or she must have committed. All of a sudden, that person gets, "Come, make some tea for me." Or, "Come, squeeze my head. Come, do this for me, do that for me." If a little child whom you have scolded, now if you say, "Pick up the toys, clean up the mess you have made," that's a different order. It appears as the schooling is not come to an end. But on the contrary, if you should say, "Do this for me, do that for me," it brings a certain amount of joy to that person which has been scolded. Adam and Eve, immersed in grief, we are told that they couldn't find any reason to smile, no form of consolation after having lived in heaven, till we go get down and find a place for it. We are told in the deep spell that nothing could have made them happy until when Allah commanded Angel Jibreel alayhi salam to descend on earth and to pronounce the adhan before them. The words of the adhan made them comfortable. It revived them. After Allah expelled them from the heavens, we told that He ordered Adam and Eve, "Build a house for me. Build a house for me on earth." And that was even before they built their own personal house. However difficult it would have been for them, it became easy. It brought them relief. Thinking the Creator is angry with them, expelling them from the paradise. Now He's saying, "You do this for me, build a house for me." Adam and Eve together built the house of Allah, laid the foundation, how they did it, Allah will make that easy for them. Allah is great and does not lay a burden on anyone that he or she cannot bear. He inspired them. They built the house, or they built it with solid foundations. And after having built the house of Allah, which is known today as Baitul Haram, the Holy Kaaba, he ordered them for another time to perform tawaf of this house. And they did tawaf. They did the circumambulation of the Holy Kaaba, the house which they built. Hadith tells us that that house, Baitullah, remained for a long period of time until the time of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, when the rains came down for 40 days and 40 nights and the flood rose. That house became destroyed, with all the traces being effaced. But the foundations remained covered with sand. SubhanAllah. It was only after Father Abraham alayhi salam came to this world that he raised for a second time the foundations that were there already existed. SubhanAllah. Although we will read from the Quran that this house, the Holy Kaaba, was built by Father Abraham along with Ismail, it does not contradict what we have now heard, that the house was built by Adam and Eve. They laid the foundation, they built the house. The very words of the Quran that informs us that the house was being built by Ibrahim along with Ismail, you will see the words that tell the true story. وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ. And remember, when Ibrahim alayhi salam was raising the foundations of the house, along with Ismail. Whereas the verse that informed us that the Kaaba was built first on earth, the word Yarfa was not used. Inna awwala baytin wudi'a lin-nas. Wudi'a. The word wudi'a in the passive mood. Indeed, the first house to have been erected in the passive voice. And the word is not rufi'a, wudi'a, to have been erected, to have been laid down. Whereas speaking about Father Abraham, and remember when Father Abraham was raised, not laid down or erected, but when he was raising the foundations of the house. You can only raise a foundation if one is present. Like children, you can only raise children if you have children. If you do how, you cannot raise. And when he was raising the foundations of the holy house, remember what both father and son were saying, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Our Lord, you accept from us. Verily, you are all hearing, you are all knowing. What was present at that time? A few rows of foundation blocks, whatever would be the foundation. But with all sincerity, both father and son, they said the words that we must learn and remember it for our lifetime. for those stones became. Baitul Haram, the most sacred house on the face of this earth. Millions of people travel there, not only during the Hajj season throughout the year they go to Umrah, but especially during Hajj season. Let them honor every house of Muslims everywhere in the world. They face towards Jihatul Kaaba. We recited in our niyyah, وَأَنَا مُتَوَجِّهًا, and I turned my face إِلَى جِهَةِ الْكَعْبَةِ الشَّرِيفَةِ, towards the direction of the way. MashaAllah. Look how Allah has accepted from Father Abraham and Ismail alayhi salam. When Allah accepts, that is what we call acceptance. Whatever you do, big and small, if everybody in the family will be happy with your doings, if everybody in the community, if everybody in the Jama'ah, if everybody in the island and the whole world will be happy with what you have done, and they send you congratulations. They send you cards, wonderful. But if Allah is not pleased with your doing, and He did not accept what you have done, all you have is a little bit of fame in the world, which will soon come to an end. On the other hand, if what you have done with all sincerity is rejected by the people, it is not being recognized, it is being downplayed. Nobody cares to acknowledge, and don't do things for people to acknowledge, remember that. But Allah accepts, and He records that. That is acceptance. When Allah accepts, that is what counts, whatever we do. For now, we are preparing for Qurbani. Keep checking and rechecking our intentions. Oh Allah, this I am going to do. I am paying my money. I am saving my money. And I am going to pay this for a share, or be it to purchase a small animal. Keep checking, oh God, this I am doing, following in the footsteps of Father Abraham alayhi salam. It's a wajib, it's a command. Do not entertain the whispers of shaitan who tells you times are very difficult. You can do this and you can do that with your money. And then you will listen to the whispers of shaitan. The season comes and goes and you are not punished. You make intentions and you beg Allah, oh Allah, you accept. It's not for the meat. It's about pleasing Allah, obeying the command of Allah, following the footsteps of Father Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam. SubhanAllah. And we see another verse, وَإِذْ بَوَّأْنَا لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ مَكَانَ بَيْتِهِ. And when we settled, we prepared for Ibrahim the site of the house. Remember, the house was built, it was destroyed by the flood in the time of Noah. Now Ibrahim is to rebuild a house. The foundation being covered with sand dunes. How is he going to find that? In the deep river, that when Allah had so desired for His servant Prophet Ibrahim to construct that house, the angel Jibreel helped him and led him to that site where the house should be built, where the old foundation had been present since the dawn of creation. It was upon that foundation that Father Abraham alayhi salam, he built by raising the foundation. His son Ismail alayhi salam, handing the blocks one by one. Look at the wisdom of the Quran. It is not right to say Ismail alayhi salam built the house. However, it would be correct technically for one to say the house was built by Ibrahim alayhi salam, as he said throughout the world and settled. One was the carpenter, the other one was the laborer. Allah didn't speak and remember when Ibrahim and Ismail were laying the foundations of the house. He gave Father Abraham a higher status of recognition in this world. And remember when Ibrahim alayhi salam was raising the foundations of the house on Ismail. Along with Ismail, he was only helping, but the builder was Father Abraham alayhi salam himself. My brothers and sisters, we are talking about the first house ever to be built. Some companions believe that based on what we heard, built by Adam and Eve, it was the first house ever to be built and be called a house. It was indeed the first place that was built. Some say it was the first place to be built for the purpose of worship, tawaf, etikaf, ibadah. However, Allah knows best. But it's indeed a place of great honor. Muslims, we are indeed very fortunate. We turn towards the direction of the Holy Kaaba. You will read in the commentary of other verses, this will be, and it is, a burning desire of many of the religions. The Jews and Christians would have loved that their place of worship could be the house which was built by Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam. We are very fortunate. Way above the Holy Kaaba, that is the house of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. See, that is a great bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Abu Dhar radiallahu anhu said, I asked the Prophet upon me, he said, Ya Rasulullah, O Messenger of Allah, Ayyu masjidin bunya awwal. Tell me which masjid was built first of all. In reply, he said, Al-Masjidul Haram, Baitul Haram, the Holy Kaaba. The companion asked for the second time, Thumma Ayyun, then which one? He said, Al-Masjidul Aqsa. Masjidul Aqsa. Then he asked, how long after Masjidul Aqsa was built? The reply came, Al-Ba'una Sana. 40 years later, it was built. He asked, which one came after? The Prophet upon him, he said in a very harsh manner, after these two, wherever you are in the world, and it's time for prayer, you read your salah. For each one is a masjid of Allah. You pray right there. Today people argue and worry and sometimes get into a little bit of temper. Which masjid was the first one to have been built? I have been told so many different masjids were built. The first one to have been built is Trinidad. And apparently everybody wishes that he can say, my masjid was the first to have been built. No, he can argue about that. Whichever one, it is a masjid. But we concentrate on Baitul Haram and Baitul Aqsa. Those were the first two masjids that we did. After that, wherever you are, it's time for prayer. Allahu Akbar, you perform your salah. You are prostrated to Allah Ta'ala. You are saying your salah for His cause. Never miss a salah thinking I'm not going to pray there because of such and such. You pray. Wherever you are, it's time for prayer. First salah. You perform your salah. Di Makkah, it is at Makkah Mukarramah. We do not normally refer to Makkah as Makkah, but it is in the Quran. Commentators say the word Makkah was used because Makkah means to be humble. And whoever, the most tyrant king, the most arrogant person, will go to Makkah on seeing by Allah, he is humble. He becomes humble. There is something about it. Allah has placed that built-in honor of dignity for that Kaaba, for the whole of mankind. That whoever goes there, no matter who you are and what kind of person you are, you become humble. You may not cry on the very first sight. Some people, on the very first sight, they shed tears. There are some who stand up and they look on. After some time, before they move away, they break down. It is called Makkah. Others say it is called Makkah because they are the Ba'una Nas. All of mankind. They come there in a large gathering, men, women, children, young and old. They assemble there, so Allah called it Makkah. It's the only place in the world where women are allowed to pray their salah in front of men. Nowhere else you will go and see women lying up in front of men and salah is in progress. Wherever they are, they stand for prayer, they are behind the men. In Makkah and Baitul Haram, when it stands for prayer, even they are on the side, but you will notice the girls will recognize as times go by, the government and the custodians are trying to control that. They are trying to have that separation. Every year classes you see, people will tell you, more and more they are trying to separate the men from the women. But that's the only place where it is possible. Others say it is called Makkah because it came from the word higher king, to weep. Whoever goes there will definitely weep, even though it weep sometimes. So it is called Makkah. And the other adjective which is being described with Mubarakan. The adjective that comes from Barakat. Thus is the month of Ramadan is described with Mubarak, and there are many people who cannot account for this. In Ramadan, people fasted, they're hungry, they're supposed to have less energy, but Muslims end up doing more. Even the housewives, they do more cleaning up, they do more tidying up. They do things that they normally do not do outside of Ramadan. The men will tell you that. They also do much more. People read more Quran than they normally read during other times, and you are not even restricted. There is something about this Mubarak, Ramadan Mubarak. So the house is being described with the word Mubarak. Mubarakan, subhanAllah, in spite of Makkah being a desert. The environment is a desert. SubhanAllah, you have fruits of all kinds. I have never heard of anybody going for Hajj and prepare a passport for the animal program. I have never heard of anyone carrying a goat sheep or 7 people together carry a goat for sacrifice. Imagine that it's a desert and millions of people go there. Some perform the crime and you will notice they do extras for money. They do something extra. And there are animals for everyone. Millions of people. Who takes care of that? It is Allah Ta'ala. Sometimes here an island has so much grass, so much forest, and here sometimes there is a shortage of animals. You're talking about a desert, and you have so much of fruits, so much of animals, so much of everything, not only for the inhabitants of Makkah, but for the millions of visitors who go there, not only for Hajj, but for over the year. It's indeed a great bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In terms of its environment and geography, it is a region where, under normal circumstances, hardly any economic or commercial goods and activities should have existed. But what's it? It's the Prophet of Allah. It is the meaning of the verse when Allah said, Yushba ilayhi kullu shay'in, brought towards it are the fruits of everything. When you hear fruits, you think of a tree. Fruits grow everywhere on trees. Allah did not mention brought towards Makkah are the fruits of every tree, but He mentioned brought to it are the fruits of everything. The produce of industrial factories are also their fruits. Those from media will tell you, people look at amazement. So much of everything is present in Makkah. No shortage. It's a wonder. That's why Allah has described it. Mubarakan wa hudan lil alameen, and it's guidance for all the world. It is not only guidance for the Muslims. I'm telling you, it touches the hearts of even the non-Muslims, but they are not bound to come out and say how much they are impressed and what hearing about Kaaba Sharif does in their heart. In fact, we know that they are aware that Allah is one besides who there is none worthy of worship. But what prevents them from saying that is ego, is pride. They want to continue following the religion of their forefathers, but time will tell who are on the straight path. And we are only talking a little bit about the outward lessons. What about the internal lessons? Allah, we told in the deep. A person who prays at his home, he gets the reward of one salah. The person who leaves home, abandons the family, and comes to the masjid in the locality, he gets the reward of 27 salah. And one who goes to a larger gathering at Jama Masjid, he gets the reward of 500 salah. SubhanAllah. To pray one salah in Masjid al-Aqsa, he is being rewarded as 1,000 salah. And the Prophet upon him says, whoever prays one salah in my masjid, meaning in Masjid al-Nabawi in Medina Munawwara, he gets the reward of 50,000 salah. And who prays one salah in Baitul Haram, in the vicinity of the Holy Kaaba, he gets the reward of praying 100,000 salah, subhanAllah. And he will reward whoever visits that place, he returns just the way his mother did work away. His sins are being absorbed, his sins are being washed away, wiped away. He comes back like a newly born baby, subhanAllah. My brothers and sisters, I have not yet heard of anyone from the Jamaat leaving for this honorable trip this year, but over the years, 12 years or so, we have always had representation from Islam. Allah knows best, and beg of you, make up your minds. If not this year, then not 2014 class. It takes a lot of planning. You may ask Allah to take you to the Holy Land. There must be a beginning. It's a place that everyone should be desirous of going. May Allah bless us and reward us immensely and fulfill our desires of wanting to be among those who